If you could ask the Prime Minister one question, what would it be?
Why have you not taken action? We are all the same. Why are First Nation people treated differently? We should all have equal rights. I have a question. Why does Justin Trudeau doesn't make schools for them and supplies? They shouldn't be treated like this. They shouldn't be treated like animals. Even animals don't get treated like this. So why should they be?
Why don't you give First Nations equal education? And why would they have bad schools? Why would they have to be sent away from their families if we get to go back home every day from school?
What we saw is children exercising what comes naturally to them, which is loving light to defeat darkness and discrimination. And these kids are here with glitter, with colored signs, with markers, with a message to the government. And that is that no First Nations, Métis or Inuit child should ever be left behind in this country again. And they're going to make sure it doesn't happen.
We are having to have a heart day where students across Canada are calling out the government to start presenting justice for Indigenous youth. And it amazes me that we're still having to do this in 2017 to get government to live up to their obligations to protect the rights of children. We lose a child every single day in the regions that I represent and across northern Canada from lack of proper services, from children being allowed to fall through the cracks, plus all the children that are lost in the foster care system. This is a national scandal that this is being allowed to be, that this is being perpetrated against Indigenous children. The Voice of Cindy brings Canadians into this story and shows Canadians a way to be part of positive change for something that is a very negative situation.
Children's voices are so clear. They see discrimination and they call it out for what it is. And they say, look, we're growing up right now. They shouldn't have to wait for fairness, right? And the other piece is that these are the future voters. And the government right now, I think, thinks they can get away with this discrimination, but these are the voters coming up. And they're going to have very different expectations of the Canadian government than many Canadians did who grew up knowing very little about First Nations, Métis and Inuit people.
This is an extraordinary movement of young people to bring change and justice. This is the great civil rights movement of our generation, and it's being led by young people. I'm just honored to be here to be able to witness it.
And what can the Prime Minister do now to kind of get the wheel rolling?
Immediately end the inequalities in services for kids. Give these kids a fighting chance to have a decent childhood. And what that means particularly, comply with the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal rulings, implement Shannon's Dream, and make sure Jordan's principle is applied throughout all government services, and make sure there's culture and language programs for every child. No kid in this country should go hungry, they shouldn't have to look for clean water, and they shouldn't have to look for a school where their language is spoken. Not in a place as wealthy as this.
How does the energy and all these young people, how does it inspire your work? Does it fuel you? Does it keep you going?
And as you know, we've been involved in a court case that's now going to be 10 years coming up against the Canadian government for equity. And when I come to Have a Heart Day, it's almost like a lighter for the soul. It fills you up with that warmth and that hope that just keeps me going the rest of the year. It is absolutely my favorite day of the year.
Everyone really loud. You threw these diamonds in the snow. You threw them away. You thought no one would know. So what were you thinking? Oh, didn't you know? The little diamonds in the snow. Well, now really loud. You know what? That building over there is where all the Prime Minister's people work, and they're the ones who decide whether or not children get their fair share. So now we got to sing loud so we wake them up, because they've been sleeping at their jobs too long. Okay. You threw these diamonds in the snow. Yell it! You threw them. So what were you thinking? Oh, didn't you know? These little diamonds in the snow. Oh, wow! Let's go up Take that.